Hi friends, it's Walter Zemrock here with another video today for Bay Grob's design team. This time making another card using the Mermaid Fairies kit. And this is a very different type of card than I made the last time, using some different mediums and some different images as well. But overall, a really fun card. So let's jump in and start making. For this card, we're going to be using a 5x7 white card base, 5x7 white card panel, and a 5x7 purple card panel. Let's get started. The first step is to take the Mermaid scale stencil and put it down onto my purple cardstock. Then I'm going to use a palette knife to spread some of this velveteen glaze in the color of teal taffy from Brutus Monroe across the stencil. It will end up leaving a really nice velvety, shimmery glaze on each of the scales. And I think that the teal and the purple are a wonderful color combination together. So I load up my palette knife and start putting it across the stencil until I reach the other side. I'm then going to let it dry and come back to finish off the rest of the paper. Once dry, I align the stencil with what I've already stenciled onto the paper, and I'll apply the velveteen glaze to the remaining part of the purple cardstock, thereby completing the stenciling. With the stencil dry, I now place it into my spray box, and I'm going to spray it with some iridescent mist from Altenew, which is just going to give it a nice additional bit of shimmer and shine, especially on the purple part in between the mermaid scales. You can let it dry on its own, or what I usually do is apply some low heat using a hair dryer. With the stenciled paper dry, I take a rectangular die, put it onto the paper, and then cover it with some scrap paper. This is brown packing paper to protect the stenciled paper as I put it through my die cut machine. And when I am finished, I will save the center for another project, and I have a frame to use on this particular card. I now take some double-sided foam tape strips to adhere around the back of the frame. This will add some depth to the overall card. I now move on to creating the background for the card panel. To do this, I take some double-sided tape and I put it all over the front of the card panel. And that is because I want to create a sticky surface to adhere some tissue paper down onto. I have two strips of two different shades of blue tissue paper. I'm going to start with the darker shade. I crumble it up, I align it with the bottom of the card, and I smooth it over that card panel. I like this technique because it creates lots of wrinkles and texture on the card panel. I then get the lighter shade crumpled up, unfold it, and get that adhered down to the card panel as well, adding in some extra tape so that it will stick to the darker shade of blue. What's nice about this technique too is that it creates three distinct shades of blue by mixing the two tissue papers together. I then trim off the excess from the card panel sides. A little bit of craft glue can be used to make sure that the bottom of the lighter paper sticks down to the card panel and onto the darker shade of blue. I thought it would be fun to have it look like the sun's rays are coming down into the water. So I put this really fun stencil onto the card panel, and I use some iridescent gold pearl plaster from Perfect Paints. And I just angle it and start to spread the medium across to create that essence of sun rays coming down. Once that's dry, I attach the card panel to my card base using some double-sided tape. I choose one of the mermaids from the printable kit and start to color her. I use an alcohol marker for her skin tone. And then I switch over to a metallic marker for coloring in her body. And I also then switch over and use a acrylic marker. I actually use two, a lighter purple and a darker purple, to color in her hair. I really am happy with the way that her hair came out. I think it's really fun and adds a lot of character to her. It's now time to color this mermaid fairy's wings, and I choose to use some glitter gel pens, and I'm going to color them using the standard colors of a rainbow. So I work around the image, starting with the red, orange, and yellow at the bottom of the wings, working up to the green, blues, and purple at the top. Once done coloring, I fussy cut them out. Just following along the lines, it's really simple. I use some craft glue to adhere the wings to the back of the mermaid. Peel off the backing from the foam tape strips on the back of the frame and press it down into place. I then decide on the placement of the mermaid and glue her down, and also decide on the placement of the turtle and glue him down. I like the way it looks. And here is the final card. I typed out a sentiment on my label maker. It's actually a sentiment from Bee's Kit, and it says, "Be a mermaid and make waves." And as you can see, here is the mermaid scale frame. And then you can see the variation in the water, the blues going from deeper to higher up. That sunshine filtering down as our mermaid swims around and a turtle swims around and his little air bubbles coming up. I think it's really pretty. I think it's a lot of fun, and it has some great color in it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm especially happy with the mermaid's hair. I think that came out really, really well. Yeah, she even has her fairy wings on. So I hope that you enjoy the card, and I'd love for you to let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks so much, and see you again soon.